This week's quick business tip. If you're ready to stop letting nightmare clients drain your time, your profits, and your sanity, you're in the right place. Today, we are talking about spotting the red flags so that you can avoid the energy vampires and build a business filled with clients that you absolutely love working with. So let's be completely honest for a minute. We have all experienced that client from hell. The ones who demand constant revisions, they ignore deadlines, or they treat you like you're their personal assistant and you need to be available 24/7. They're not just a nuisance, they're actually sabotaging the growth of your business. And it's really important to remember in those times that it's not your fault that you have a difficult client, but it is your responsibility to protect yourself and your team. So let's dig a little deeper and talk about the common types of clients that can cause a problem in your business. The first type is the scope creeper. They start out with a really small project and they keep adding on, making small tweaks and adjustments and changes. And it turns into this never ending huge project that they want completed for the same price. Or if you are offering like a coaching or consulting, and you're offering the coaching or consulting in a very specific area, I consult on marketing. When they start coming to me for like how to build teams or more business strategies rather than marketing, this is where this can turn into a huge scope creep and all of the sudden, you are now being called on to be an expert in areas that one, you're not an expert in, and two, you're not being paid to consult in. And this can really drain you and your team, and it makes it so that you're not able to show up well for your other clients. The second type of problem client is the bargain hunter. So they are going to nickel and dime you on everything. They're going to want to negotiate the price lower. They're devaluing your expertise. And in the end, they tend to cause resentment because if you decide to take them on as a client and you know that they are not paying your full price, but they're wanting the same services that your other clients are paying full price for, you're going to end up resenting them in the end, and that's not going to create a good environment for either one of you. The third type of problem client is the ghost. They are going to disappear for days. You can't reach them via email or text. They hold up the process or the progress of the service that you are trying to perform for them. And when they reappear, they expect you to drop everything and give them immediate turnaround on whatever it is that you've been trying to work on for weeks. This is obviously a problem because if you are time blocking and setting aside time on your calendar for these client deliverables, but you end up with this hurry up and wait scenario because they are not getting back with you on their end of things for approvals or more information that you need, it makes it very difficult for you to manage your time well or for your team to manage their time well. Then we have the last problem client. It is the it's your fault client, right? So nothing that you do is ever good enough. They deflect all responsibility on you. They make any kind of failure in their business your fault and your problem. And it drains your energy and also can completely drain your confidence and the confidence of your team. Now, early on in my career, I took on a client who wanted a website design. It's pretty simple, and the client seemed fantastic during our sales call. But then we started getting into the project, and every time there was a change that needed to be made, this drama queen showed up Emails were coming in at midnight. The client never seemed happy. They were very aggressive, very accusatory for no reason. The project took far longer than it should have, and I ended up losing money in the job. And more importantly, it really kind of crushed my spirit, stole my joy, and it made how I was showing up for my other clients like it was a really bad place for me to be in, and my other clients suffered. But this client, this experience, and others like them taught me a very valuable lesson. I am now better able to spot these time wasters and problem clients before they sign a contract. And I want to help you by giving you some warning signs that maybe you've seen before, maybe you haven't, but I would love to help you avoid some of the problems that I've seen in my business so that you don't have to go through the same struggles I've gone through. So the first red flag is a client who is very vague about what they need. If they're not able to clearly articulate what they need and want from you as a service provider, it's going to create a moving target for you down the road. This is obviously a problem because that turns into scope creep, and it makes it really difficult for you to create a proposal that's going to meet their needs and make them happy about the results that they're getting in the long run. The second red flag is disrespectful communication. If someone is sending you rude emails, rude texts, they have a demanding tone before a contract gets signed, this isn't something that's going to improve once they write you a check. So this is one that I just avoid from the very beginning. I try to find them someone else that they might be a good fit with because they are not the right fit for me. The third red flag is the haggler. They are fixated totally on price, almost from the beginning, and that type of mindset is not going to go away. So it's very likely in those scenarios that that person is never going to be happy with the results that you're giving them, even when your value far exceeds the price that they are paying. And the fourth red flag is just when your gut says, no way. You can't put your finger on it. You don't know why, but you're getting a, oh no, from your gut. And you need to trust that intuition. If something feels off, it's okay to say no, even if you really need to sign that client, because that is the client that is likely going to cause 80% of your problems, and they're only paying 20% of your income. It's not where you want to be. So here are some steps that help me before the contract that I like to take before the contract gets signed. So I like to ask some qualifying questions. I ask people about what things they've tried in the past, their past experiences with working with other similar businesses, what their budget is, and how they go about making decisions along the way. So for some businesses, you can be talking to basically the person that's making the decision. But in a lot of businesses, it's not just one person making a decision. It's going to be two or three. And you want to make sure you bring everyone to the table and you know exactly what everyone wants, what their expectations are, what success looks like, so that you can create a contract that makes it a win all the way around. The second tip is creating contracts that are very clear. You want to outline everything from scope to deadlines and the number of revisions that you are going to limit your work to. This saves arguments down the road, and it makes it very clear when the project is complete. The third tip is to create some kind of system that allows them to buy in early. So some of my services are paid for upfront. Some are paid on a monthly basis, and then some of them you pay a percentage upfront, and then you pay as the project goes along with 100% paid before the final delivery. So it depends on what kind of services you're offering, but what you don't want to do is get through an entire project, they sign off on it, and then you're getting the check at the end. If you're getting 100% of your payment after all the work is done, that can put you in a really dangerous position. The fourth tip is to remember what your worth is. Don't be afraid to walk away from someone who's a bad fit or from someone who doesn't value your expertise at the dollar value that you know that you're worth. Even if, and honestly, it's especially when you need the money, it's important to walk away from those problem clients because that problem is just going to compound on itself. And there are better clients that are out there for you that are going to love working with you and value you at the rate that they need to value you at. Your business and your team are so worth protecting. And while difficult clients are inevitable, they're really just a symptom of unclear boundaries and not trusting your gut, and a little bit of not having protective processes in place. So think about what things you need to implement before a contract gets signed so that you can weed out and avoid some of these red flag clients. Then I want you to take that information, go out and build a huge roster of clients that make you so excited to jump out of bed every single day. Thank you for listening. I'm Jennifer with Limitless Impact Agency. Make sure you come back next week for another episode of Quick Business Tips.